And we are back. No thanks to Rico, but we're back. That was coming. Hey, we want to thank everybody for coming out. You're at the Comfort Inn on Rhode Island Road in Penn Hills. We are here compliments of the Comfort Inn and management and Heather and the crew, and we appreciate it. So look, every other Thursday, we're here with Champions Live Sports Talk Show, and it's sports, talk, and entertainment. That's why we snuck Jerry Chipinelli in, so it's not always just sports. But we're here on the bi-regular. Now, for those of you that went to a city, that's every other Thursday. It's like a Thursday, then skip a Thursday, another Thursday. So get somebody to break that down for you Westinghouse people. And be thankful that, yeah, I said it. I ain't scared of y'all. And if you make a move at me, Warren's behind you. He ain't gonna let you get to me. So just so you can't get to me. And listen, but we gotta thank UPMC. We have to thank Goodrich and Geis. We have to thank Goodrich and Associates. Those are two different law firms. We have to thank the late, great Frank O'Harris and Super Bakery, Frank B. Fuel Wholesale Company, Diversified Municipal Services, and just a big thank you to all of our sponsors who help make this thing work. And invite you to come down to our shows. You can, if you're looking at us now, you can go online, find out who we are, where we are. It's Achieving Greatness Incorporated, Facebook. And come on down and be a part of the show. If you have someone that wants to be showcased, needs to be showcased, needs some exposure, if you have a team or an individual that needs to be recognized, call us, 412-628-4856. The name is Bill Neal. And listen, before we move on another further, the trivia question today is this. And if Rock Robinson is still in the room, he's not allowed to answer because he already knows the answer. Only one man in the history of the city of Pittsburgh public school system has ever won a national NBA title. Only one man in all the years of City League school basketball, Larry, of all the years of all the competitors, Shinley, Westinghouse, Peabody, Brashear, Fifth Avenue, on and on and on. For all those since their 128-year history, it's unimaginable that only one man has won a state title. So whoever has the answer to that question gets to win the Looking Up. This is everything anybody ever wants to know about basketball, locally or nationally, get donated to us by our good friend Jim O'Brien. So if you know the answer to the question, you actually have to write it down and give it to me to win the book. And this is treasure. This is treasure. I mean, it's like Chamberlain, Kobe Bryant, all the greats from the city and the county, and Bryce's uncle, B.B. Flannery, recognized as one of the great 100 players in the history of the state of Pennsylvania. But enough of all that. I welcome to the stage once again Bryce Flannery. Let me tell you this, one of my favorite human beings in the world. I kid you not. And well, you're the only one I have, so it's a low bar. But nonetheless, Warren used to be on that list until he started talking that nonsense he was talking in the back before the show. But we welcome Bryce Flannery, and our relationship is kind of in and out over the years, but one of my fondest memories of you, obviously, you're one of the all-time great basketball players from this area, and as you alluded to, one of the most conditioned athletes that anybody would ever want to meet. And I was reminded of you when we introduced to you when we were running the Pittsburgh Explosion ABA basketball team. And I told ownership, I said, well, there's a guy you need to get on the team. And they didn't know of you, but once they saw you, they were made aware of who you are and what you're capable of. So welcome to the show, and give us an update of what's going on with you.
As far as going on right now, going into the Hall of Fame, May 4th, Alec Kiske Sports Hall of Fame, which is located at the Shriners Center off of 28 North. As far as my job, I'm an educator. I'm a dean of students at Perry High School. I've been in the Pittsburgh Public School District for 18 years now. I was at Allegheny K through 5 for 12 years there. But coaching still, I'm a head baseball coach. I'm a varsity JV basketball coach, and life is good, man. I have a beautiful wife, beautiful kids at home. Life is good.
You played some baseball?
I did. I played Little League, and I played Pony League, a little Colt League. and then focused on my basketball career once I really got to high school.
So, and people sometimes forget, Larry, you'll attest to this because we're both old. Forget about the Pony League and Cold League and some of the great baseball that gets played on that level, and a lot of those guys move from there on to their college baseball. So let me take this opportunity to introduce Larry to our audience. Larry Lutz is, let him give you his title, but he was brought to my attention by Bryce in an upcoming event. So Larry, introduce yourself to our listeners and your part in the Hall of Fame induction.
Sure, thanks Bill, thanks Bryce. I'm the chairman of the Alakiski Valley Sports Hall of Fame. I have been Bob Pattern passed away. Some of you may remember that name. He was the voice. He and Joe Falsetti were on WKPA radio and Channel 3. Mario reminded me of TV3. I played replay games in the mornings and announced basketball, football games, and a great crew. But Bob Pattern was the chairman. He recently passed. And he was inducted before he passed. He knew about it into our Hall of Fame. We had to alter the bylaws because he was on the committee when we got him in. And basically, it's the Allegheny Valley from, we don't include Penn Hills, which is, we don't have enough room for all of them, all those Hall of Fame.
We got our own thing.
I know. So it pretty much starts from Oakmont and Fox Chapel area, all the way up to Ford City, Katanning, and then from Knock over to Kiski and Apollo, and everything in between, Freeport, Springdale, Burrell, Valley, of course, and all the old schools that were in there, New Kensington, East Deer, West Deer, Deer Lakes, and so that's our area.
It's a lot of territory.
A lot of territory, got a lot of good people there. We've been at it for, since 1970 was our inaugural class. People like Rosie Rosewell, Cookie Gilchrist. Rosie Rosewell was the announcer before Bob Prince. Even Bill doesn't remember back that far.
Well, I can go back to 70 and a few years before, but I got you. I got you. But, you mentioned all those great schools, and jokingly mentioned Penn Hills, but great competition, and especially back in the day. When I played at Penn Hills, we played Kiski and some of the other outlying schools. Great competition long before it became selective. That was at a time when you played football during football season, you played basketball during basketball season, you played baseball during baseball season. A lot of great athletes during that time. I was reminded by you about the Booker family, and I'm still having nightmares about how many touchdowns he ran on us, man. He was that great. So
Dennis Booker of Kiski,
yeah.
Arizona State.
Yep. So just one more question about the Hall of Fame. How many people are inducted? And how was the process by which they are inducted?
Well, it's not as lively as the group you had here earlier, but we have a committee and old timers basically. We have some young people in there to get some younger flavor to it. But we meet pretty much monthly. We have a nomination process. Our nomination form is available on our Facebook page. Our website is down at the moment. We're going to have that up and running. Or you can get nomination forms, certainly to come to our banquet or contact us. And so people have to be nominated. A lot of times we get questions, why isn't so-and-so on there? He hasn't been nominated, so that's important. And we have people present. We want them to speak at our banquet.
You raise a some of our committee members for the Pittsburgh City League Hall of Fame that we operate under Achieving Greatness will tell you that we get hit with that all the time. Why not my uncle? Why not my brother? Why isn't my sister in? And we have a rule that you're welcome to steal if you want it, Larry. Our rule is we want everybody in that deserves to be in. We're not trying to keep anybody that deserves to be in out. And it took a while, the first 2 or 3 years. We're now in our 10th year. But it took a while to get that message on the street that we're not the enemy. We're looking for the best of the best of the best, which takes me back to Bryce. So I know you're not one to talk about yourself, but catch us up on your career from high school to college and the other opportunities that you had playing ball.
I played at Valley High School. I was a three-year varsity player. I played guard my first 2 years, but I didn't start my 10th grade year. And then I started half the year. And then my junior year, I was a guard. And then my senior year, I had to go from a guard to a center. So my coach put me with my back to the basket my senior year, which took a lot away my scoring off the perimeter. But I started some jumping ability, and my shooting, my fadeaway was just so dynamic. I was just getting over people anyway, and drop step and dunking on people. So, but life is good because I had a lot of obstacles in high school with my coach and then my position, but I managed. And then I ended up going to IUP as a walk-on redshirt. We ended up winning the intramural league championship there. That didn't work out for me, so I left that alone. I left school, and then I ended up picking up bodybuilding, which that's where you kind of found me after I came back home, and then I was just in tip-top shape. Ended up playing for the Explosion. That was really a eye-opener
For all of us.
All of us. Because, I'm dealing with a lot of really professionals. Late Arnold Gillian was an NBA star, and Myron Brown. Those guys.
That was a great run.
Great run.
Time.
Great guys, man.
Great 2 years with that short-lived program.
Yeah, for sure. And then just play ball. Just play ball around the way, pick up ball here and there, and then played again for the Phantoms, and just got into coaching, and that really took off for me. I took a team to the WPL championship in 2014, so that was great. And I just picked up coaching, and just now it's taking off for me right now. And I'm actually in the running. I can't say where and what, but I got some coaching stuff right now that's really going to take off.
And you should be applauded. And as I said early on, you're not one to talk about yourself, but I will tell our viewers and listeners that in your time, in your day, as they say, Bryce would dunk on you. Probably dunked on Warren a couple times, I'm sure. And I'm sure Warren repaid the favor. So,
Sure.
But
battles.
Yeah, Bryce literally would dunk on you. The thing I remember about you would dunk on people, then you would look at them like it's their fault. I mean, you was just mean and nasty about it, but you could play basketball. And as a longtime coach, I know talent, and you could play basketball. And you got great DNA and great history. Obviously, your uncle, the great B.B. Flannery, Baron Flannery, all-time great Valley player and Duquesne legend, who also played professionally overseas. So it comes to you through that DNA hookup. But before you go, I want you to tell the viewers about something very special you were doing. First of all, you were in education, so that's special in and of itself. But talk about the middle school football program that you introduced me to.
Yes.
That I just thought was phenomenal.
So I was at an elementary school for 12 years, and in our third year, my boss, which shout out to Molly O'Malley, my boss now at Perry. She took me with her to Perry, and we're just a dynamic duo. She said, we got to come up with something for these boys. We just had a lot of rough-housed boys at recess who just needed something. Recess just wasn't getting it. They would just go out there and play. They were rough. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to come up with a recess league. So I put together this recess football program during recess. And if you know where Allegheny is, down by North Avenue, Allegheny General Hospital, there's a big field there in the city of Pittsburgh. So we used the whole field, and I was a steady quarterback for about 40 boys, split up to about 4 teams. I was a referee, the stat keeper, and the quarterback. And I had managers, girl managers. So after the game, they brought me the clipboard. I put their stats down. Hey, Mr. Bryce, I got 3 touchdowns. I got 4 interceptions. So I would make a stat chart on the wall in the school and put their names on. I had about 100 kids. And they kept their stats all year, most touchdowns, most interceptions. So by the end of the year, they got an award. It was the ESPN award ceremony. And kids got gold footballs. They got the Heisman Tower trophies. They got their pictures on the walls. If you looked at the link, WPXI Recess Football, now it's still on there. Check it out. We played at the Riverhound Stadium 2 years ago at halftime in front of their fans. We made the fan sports talk show host back then with Shelby Cassesi, who's now with Channel 11. it was just a great experience. And there was no football program in the country, and I can put that on paper, in the country that was doing this besides us down there in the north side.
Absolutely that, and phenomenal doesn't say enough. And just to give you this visual, as you walk into any high school or any mainstream school, when you walk into the hallway, it's usually old school, wide, and long. When you walked into his school, the whole hallway, 20 yards worth of nothing but names and pictures of all these kids.
For years.
Bryce invited me over.
Years.
That was done by hand printed names, positions, achievements. Just one of the greatest individual efforts that I've seen a person make on behalf of young people. And I see a lot of stuff. So that is still worthy of applause. You can offer that. So, Larry, let me give you this opportunity. What do our listeners need to hear from you? Where, when, time, cost, how to get tickets, etc.
Bryce already let the word out. It's at the Pittsburgh Shrine Center. Some people remember it as the mosque. It's in Harmerville. Don't go to Oakland where it used to be. It's in Harmerville. It's May 4th, 7 o'clock. Tickets are available either on our Facebook page, Alakiski Sports Hall of Fame. You can get in contact with Bill or anybody here. He can give you my information to get tickets. Tickets are $40 a piece.
If you don't mind, give them your number and email, if you don't mind.
Certainly. My phone number is 724-822-3695. We can get tickets to you. We do it the old-fashioned way. I was talking to Bill about writing checks.
Amen.
So don't Venmo me.
I get laughed at for that. I said, I'm with you on that.
But email is Larry Lutz, my name, Lutz, L-U-T-Z, Andpawk, A-N-D-P-A-W-K, law.com. And that goes right to my phone. I can get you tickets in a hurry. We do need to have tickets in advance. Don't come to the door because we have a caterer. Again, it's $40 per person. And real quick, one of the other things we're doing, we honor high school students, MVPs from football, soccer, girls and boys basketball, the Cajun Classic, that I think you played in.
I did not.
Oh, I
I
thought you did.
played in the bigger
Oh.
Western PA game. It was, yeah.
Excuse
Excuse us, Brace. Didn't I say you would talk about yourself much?
I would have liked it.
That's off the table.
Standing corrected.
Hey, it's a poor dog that won't wag his own tail.
I didn't play any of them. We also have a Courage Award that we give every year to a phenomenal high school student. And we got a really special one this year from Deer Lakes High School. And for the first time, we're honoring two teams. We've never honored a team before. We have the 1947 Ken High Red Raiders, WPIL champions, led by Willie Thrower, a name that a lot of people will know.
Legend.
A legend, first African-American quarterback to start in the NFL. And the 1979 Valley Viking PIAA championship basketball team.
Right.
With a bunch of our Hall of Famers already in there. Chipper Harris, Billy Varner, Ron McNabb, already in our Hall of Fame. We're going to honor their team. So should be a wonderful night, a wonderful event.
Is
And
Billy
we're looking
coming
forward
in?
to a big crowd. Billy is supposed to be coming in. The Kardashians are going to let him go, apparently. That's the word. And we have a whole bunch of Flannerys there. We're really proud to have Bryce this year, along with 7 other inductees who are wonderful people. And it's a very inspirational night, and I hope a lot of people can come.
Fantastic. Well, you got it first and foremost right here. Tickets are still available. You want to call that? Give that phone number one more time, Larry.
724-822-3695.
So I know Warren and I are coming, and I would encourage everybody within listening distance to get on board. And for the other inductees, God bless them and congratulations. But for this guy, I will travel across the country to see him get inducted. So I'm all in on it. I appreciate you guys coming out, and I would invite you, Larry, hit the road, and Bryce, you stay put. We're gonna come back, and let me just tell you. If you know who the guy was, there's only one guy. Write his name on a piece of paper, bring it to me. Let me also offer to you so-called big shots out there. Mario, I'm doing this for all of us. We are live. This is Champions Live Sports Talk Show. So when you see us moving and grooving and moving tables and all that, we ain't hiding nothing. We giving it to you live. This is behind the scenes. See how that happened out the book fair? All that stuff comes to you live. So we're showing you all that live. Plus, we don't know how to shut the camera off. We're not doing it that way. So I just want to put it out there like that. All right, we'll be back in a minute.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Together, put the tables back. Yeah. So the mic is on right now. So we are live and I'm backing up. You gotta use some whenever you want.
Oh, I need a microphone. Give me a microphone.
Don't do that.
They could probably hear you without the microphone, Bill.
I'm sure, but take a look. Test 1, 2. That's not good. Test 1, 2. Now let's live. We good? We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Back to Champion. Excuse me. Champions Live Sports Talk Show coming to you live. Bill Neal, Robert Rock Robinson, Brandon Walker, Warren Wilson, close enough. Mario Tempest and Bryce Flannery. Bryce, you're going to have to get a union card, Bryce, if you're going to keep coming on the show like that.
I ain't on it.
We are just so glad to be back with you, and once again, thanks to our sponsors. This is the segment we call What's on Deck. In other words, what's happening, what's going to be happening. So, what's on deck, like baseball. If you have a batter up, batter on deck, batter in the hole. So we're talking what's on deck. So do you get it? You understand? You should be, guys. We're a little slow.
I've played baseball, so
I'm just saying. So
19 years.
but
Before we get started, Bill, I just want to I have a disclaimer. I just want to say,
excuse me, did you just cut me off?
yes, I did. I think it's important. I just want to say, ladies, I love you. One of my mission statements and life statements is I protect women and children. So,
Oh, he's cleaning it up. He's cleaning it up.
I love everything that happens with Title IX and everything, and the girls basketball. In fact, my favorite women's sport is volleyball. So, I know Pauline was a volleyball player and a basketball player. So, I
Dana,
just
what
want to
did
say all
you
that.
do to Warren during the break to get him to fess up? Somebody got in your head real good, son. That means you're learning. That's a good thing. Now,
Can't be a hot water with the ladies, man. Y'all know I love you.
Yeah, but because they be waiting for you outside. But look, Brandon, update us. We got plenty of time. Mr. Cruz out of here. Brandon, update us on the state of the Steelers. Where are we? Anything new draft-wise? Anything new since they ran Kenny Pickett out of town? What's the
Not
latest?
really. It's been quiet, surprisingly, for the past few weeks since the last time we talked, which is probably a good thing. So they're scouting players and trying to get their stuff together for the fall. So
Well, there's a bit of a rumor going around that many people don't think that Russell Wilson will make it to mid-season before they inject Fields. Are you feeling that? If Fields is that good, if he is as good as advertised, why was Chicago so willing and easy to let him go? There's got to be something wrong with him. He can't be all roses and barbecue chicken. What are we missing here?
he might, I don't know. He looked good, but he's inconsistent. That's why they went 7-10 last year and then 3-14 the year before. So he hasn't won enough. And that's the result at the end of the day is you got to win.
So what makes us think that he can step in for Russell Wilson by mid-season? Anybody?
Is it because the Chicago Bears has a horrible organization? That's what we need to find out.
You're right.
Well,
It could be the Bears, it could be Fields. I mean, the Bears when's the last time the Bears had a quarterback? I'm sorry, I don't know. Not in my lifetime.
McMahon.
I said not in my lifetime. They won in 85. I was born in 87. So that's not my lifetime.
And pardon us for not knowing your birthday. We apologize.
Pretty good math, I like that.
Yeah, he's a pretty smart guy, contrary to what people say. Warren, let's talk a little bit about the NBA. We're coming down the wire. I think 6 games left on the 3 games left, so I missed 3.
Yeah.
Well, I've been known to do that.
The
So,
regular season ends on Sunday.
so what's the update in the East? Let's do the East and the West. But what are you looking at in the East? Is it bona fide Boston, or is there something?
Definitely bona fide Boston. They're in the first place. The Bucks are in second with 49 wins, and then the Knicks and the Cavaliers and the Magic round out the top 5. But I would definitely say that the Celtics are going to, clinch the East to come out, unless somebody gets hurt or anything like that. Jaylen Brown and Tatum.
Where are the Knicks in the East equation? Early on, there was a lot of conversation about the Knicks and re-emerging, and LeBron might go there and all this stuff, and now they faded. Have they?
No, they're in third place. Third? Yeah, they're in third, behind Milwaukee.
So they're still building towards what they used to be.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Yeah, Jaylen Brown been balling, man.
Speaking of which, going back to part of the conversation we had earlier, I'm gonna throw this at Bryce. There's been a lot of great combo guards in NBA history.
Yes.
But Bryce may not remember it now that I think about it.
Might.
But
Too young.
No.
Walt Frazier and Black Magic, aka Earl the Pearl Monroe, was there ever a better backcourt, offensively and defensively? I mean, just to watch, just back in the day, you young guy, Brandon was born in 95 or whatever. Back in the day, when there was only 3 TV stations, we had to watch an NBA game at 10 o'clock at night or something. But watching Earl Monroe and Walt Frazier play that position, Mario, was it any better? Did it get any better?
No, you really can't. They were unbelievable, and there was a lot of Hall of Famers that played back then. So they were playing up against a lot of Hall of Famers. You got to keep that in mind.
And you know how, I don't know if you guys know how Earl the Pearl got his Black Jesus nickname. But he used to play in the summer league up at Rutgers Park in New York, and the audience named him Black Jesus because they said he did everything but walk on water. He was unstoppable. I mean, literally, he averaged 40 points a game in college.
And also, to piggyback off that, Spike Lee made a movie. He got Game with Ray Allen.
Right.
And Denzel, his dad in the movie portrayed, actually named him after Earl the Pearl Monroe.
Right, that's right.
Absolutely.
So Warren, you're saying the Greek Freak and his crew can't surpass Boston, so Boston comes out the East?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a battle. You know what I mean? Because Greek Freak, yeah. It's definitely going to be a battle.
He's hurt.
How bad?
Out for a couple I don't know if he'll make it through the playoffs.
Out or resting?
Out,
Hurt.
hurt.
What's the
And
injury?
they got Doc Rivers, so therefore they ain't doing anything anyway.
Why is Doc getting the blame? Is it Doc?
He blows 3-2, 3-1 leads year after year.
Or did he inherit a bad team? I mean, is it Doc or did he inherit a bad team halfway down the
It's
season?
probably Doc because they were 33-13 with him, without him. And then they just unnecessarily, for some odd reason, fired their coach because they didn't like him.
So that wasn't the same coach that hit on the owner's wife from the other team. That was the
No,
Boston-
he coaches Houston now.
Is there a dumbest coaches award given? That guy got it. That whole situation was crazy.
Yeah, he's coaching again.
Where's he at?
Houston.
Yeah.
Only do it down young. He's
Yeah.
doing well. Yeah, as a matter of fact. So in Houston, it's challenging. So Warren, what's happening in the West?
In the West, we got the Nuggets is number 1, and then the Timberwolves is number 2. The Thunder is number 3, and then the Clippers are number 4.
I didn't hear you mention my Lakers at all.
No, they're not. I don't know if they're 6 or 7.
They're
But I know
ninth.
number 5 is Dallas.
They're ninth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was tongue in cheek. Look, but they're ninth and threatening. And the word is you don't want to play the Lakers. And you don't want to play them in a play-in situation
No.
or whatever. Because they're capable of beating anybody, maybe but Denver. They match up better than
Golden State. And Golden State beat them 3 times.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Wow.
they just beat them again.
Well, I watched the game last night, Denver,
That's okay.
and they looked really good. Jamal Murray had a heck of a game. He was doing whatever he wanted to do. It was almost like they were playing with Minnesota and letting Anthony Edwards just go ahead get his points and everything like that. But then when they wanted to really win, they put the clamps on everybody and they just shut them down and they just said, no, this is our game. We were just playing with you the whole time. Kind of like what Michael Jordan used to say, what Boston used to do with him when they played Chicago back in the day. He felt so angry because he felt like they always had control and everything like that until they start beating him or whatever. But yeah, Denver is definitely going to be a contender for this year's championship for sure. I mean, they're hungry. Meaning they look good. Joker, he's unstoppable. He's strong. He's fundamental.
You couldn't get him to say a
IQ.
word. Now he won't shut up. I understand, but don't just keep talking.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. No, I'm just teasing. But before we come back to Mario to give us position information on the Pirates, allow me to start this ongoing argument, only because ESPN was dealing with it a couple days ago. And Bryce, you and Warren might be the 2 best people on this panel to speak to this. LeBron James is clearly maneuvering his title, his reputation, his history, his achievements on getting his son into the NBA. And more specifically, to get his son on the Lakers team. When all those inquired will tell you that not only is that a stretch, he wasn't the best player on this USC college team.
Right.
So how do you feel about, as a father, would you want the best for your son, but would you be maneuvering like this openly and publicly? And does that put unbelievable pressure on this kid?
Tremendous pressure. I think it's bad. I mean, it's good as for a father to get his son, obviously wants to play with his son. That's historical, right? But I think he needs to just walk his own path as a player and find his own way. And LeBron has to allow him to do that, I believe. He should allow him just to kind of navigate now, talk him through what needs to be talked to as far as the business side of the league and the business side of the game. But getting him to the Lakers, I just think it's bad for business. No, I'm not a fan of that.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan
And
of
if
that.
anything, if
I'm not a fan.
I were his father, I would just be advocating to get him in the league.
Correct.
I don't
Right.
know that I would want to
Right.
put that undue pressure on
Right.
having him on the same team
No.
with me.
No.
And here's what happens as a competitor. as an athlete, you understand what's being suggested and said at dinner changes in training camp, changes in practice. They're going to be coming at him. If he
Correct.
joins the Lakers unnecessarily, there's some cats in practice saying, I don't care if you are LeBron's son, you're trying to get my job.
Case in point, since we're in Penn Hills, I don't think he's better than Jalen Hood-Schifino, the son.
I agree. I agree.
I don't think he is. And I know he had to step down and go to what the lower team for the Lakers, correct? Am I? D-League. Right. So I think,
Quiet Scott, I don't
That's
think
a
he's,
setup for
I don't
failure.
think he's better than his brother.
right.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. His brother's better than him. Way
Right,
better. And
yeah.
he's taller, bigger.
Yeah.
If he could play for like 3-4 more years, if he can, I'd rather have Bryce play with LeBron.
Well, that's not on the table right now, but your point is well taken, and others have said that as well. It would just seem to me that,
Can I get my opinion on it?
yeah, of course.
Contrary to, I mean, and I understand what you're saying, I respect you, sir, you know what I mean? But I think that, I agree with you as far as he's not better than Jalen, but Bryce is only, 19 years old?
Yeah.
Okay? You remember the player that you were at 19, right?
Yes.
And you also remember the player that you were at 24, 25.
Correct. Yeah.
Two different guys.
Two different guys.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So if LeBron could get his son, which I think he clearly deserves, I mean,
And not that we're dissing
Right.
LeBron's son, we're just
Yeah,
having the
right.
conversation.
yeah, I mean, LeBron has done so much for this game. LeBron has done so much for, the image of a family in a league, an organization. I mean, he's been the consummate role model.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I just think that would be, the cherry on top for him to play with his son.
But
I mean, he
also,
did- Go ahead.
but also it's a business. So he has to survive in advance. And
Well,
Unless the
the
Lakers-
Lions won't protect him.
correct.
So-
But unless the Lakers are going to keep him solely on the name, then you're going to have a lot of criticism because there may be guys who are better than the son.
Well, I mean, do we know that sports
That's
is
the
nepotism?
business.
I mean,
Yeah,
nepotism is all through sports, politics, all through
That's the
sports
business.
anyway.
But to Bryce's point, there's been national conversation about the Schifino kid. That name
Yeah.
has come up.
For
And I
sure.
just spoke to his uncle Bruce a couple days ago. Obviously, they feel that he feels his nephew's been slighted. But there's been a little bit of a national mention that the Schifino kid has gone down to the D-League. When there was so much acclaim and attention given to him when he was drafted, that everyone was under the presumption that he was about to be a part of the mix.
Yeah.
So, going further, I just think it's a mistake for a father. Now, it's different if you own a corporation and you're bringing your son in to be the heir apparent or a vice president.
Right.
But for something that's, the one sport, well, there's a couple sports, you can't hide in boxing and you show us, but you can't hide in basketball.
No,
And you
you
will
can't.
get found and exposed quickly.
Very quickly.
And I think
Man, they got like 22 dudes on the roster. When we were playing, there was like 12 or 15, 12, 13, 14 spots. If you go look at the roster now, there's like 22, 23 guys on the team.
But do you want to be one of those irrelevant guys, or do you want to be?
Well, Bronny could be that for now until he blossoms into the young man he's going to be. His dad's one of the best.
Or would it be better to stay in college another year and blossom, or two?
I say 3.
See, this is all about
I
LeBron
say,
wanting his
yeah,
son to play with him while
that's all
he's
it is.
playing.
That's all
It's
it's selfish.
self-serving on LeBron's part.
Selfish,
He
yeah.
wants his son to play while he's playing.
Correct.
Not, it doesn't appear what's best for his son.
Well, if he don't bring him in while he's there, then he might, who knows?
He may not get there.
Yeah, he might not get there. So I'm gonna do what a dad does, like he's doing, and I'm gonna get my son in while I can. That's what I'm gonna do, because LeBron deserves it, because LeBron has opened the door for a lot of people.
That's clear. I made it
Yeah.
clear.
I made a
And
point.
he's the man.
So it's a Trump move, is what you're telling me. It's a
Yep.
Trump move.
Yep, and I would do
Get
it if I
all the
was him.
rules, All the regulations, just make it happen.
Look at everything that he has done for the game. Give that man his kudos. Let him do what let him do that last little thing.
It doesn't justify,
And
it doesn't justify his son playing.
The closest
It's not working.
and speaking of LeBron and LeBron connections, Brandon, you said you're
Well, let Rock finish his comment.
The
Sure,
closest
sorry,
thing I
Rob.
got is, you can look at Milwaukee and look at Giannis, whose brother's on that team,
yeah.
who they signed some type of agreement, contract.
Yeah, because he's a
That my
bum.
brother gotta play with me on my team.
Yeah.
Good.
No,
Cause his brother's not that good.
no, he's not.
Okay,
Nah,
and so they won a championship. They selling out. You know what I mean? And the Greek freak is happy.
I guess I don't have to go too far because that's why one of the Watt brothers was playing for the Steelers while his brother was leading the world in sacks. The lesser Watt brother was on contract as
Right.
fullback and played 5 plays the whole season. So
Yeah, that's wild.
I guess that works. Look, enough of that stuff. Mario, as we wrap this thing up, give us some.
Coach, what about the Duquesne coach?
What about
That's big news.
You mean Brandon's uncle?
his cousin.
Brandon's cousin is the new
Announced that,
Duquesne
man.
coach.
Announced that. We announced it last week.
Well, give us an update, Brandon,
Give us an
on your
update.
cousin who's now the new Duquesne University basketball coach.
He's the coach, and hopefully they can bring Bronny. Bronny needs to go there.
There's a rumor, that rumor's out
It's a
there.
big rumor.
Do you believe that's possible?
That's a big rumor.
That could be
That
it could
Bronny
be possible.
Now, let me connect the dots.
Oh, you connected the dots for me.
The new Duquesne basketball coach played with LeBron in high school.
There you go.
They're lifelong friends. Were you about to suggest, I don't know what I'm talking about?
No, you was about to close it out when I was saying that.
I was about to close you out. But so LeBron's former teammate, who was an assistant to Coach Thembrot at Duquesne, as Coach D has retired, the former player of LeBron's high school team is now the head coach, who happens to be your cousin. So you should be able to give us some insider scoop. Is Bronny coming to Duquesne to play with his uncle, who's now the head coach?
I haven't talked to him in a while, so I'll give him an update next show.
So let me ask a question, because Booker wants to know this. This is not me talking, this is Booker talking. So what Booker wants to know is, he asked me during the intermission to ask you, so since your cousin got the job, you haven't seen fit to talk to him about what's next to bring it to our show?
I have not.
Okay, that's the answer, Booker, you were looking for. He has not done that. So look, Mario, where are we at? We have quite possibly the best shortstop in baseball, quite possibly. We have 3 guys that can knock the cover off the ball and send it out the park. We have an ace, allegedly, and 2 good backup pitchers. As I said early on, is this Pittsburgh Pirate for real? Pittsburgh Pirate team for real?
I believe so. Only time will tell, but everything's pointing towards the fact that they have something going special here.
Can they win 83 games?
Yes.
I'd say 80, maybe 83.
It's
but
been
I'd say-
suggested they have to win 83 or 84
Yeah,
games.
that's about the number,
to get
yeah.
in.
Yeah, I'll say they're for real, because I'll tell you this, like Mario said with Smoke and Mirrors, they're winning with their core players this year. They're not winning with the hodgepodge of nothingness.
That's right.
Remember who said that? Some Hall of Fame pitcher said, yeah, this is a hodgepodge of nothingness. I was like, yeah, it was like 2 years ago, but now they got a foundation and they're winning with that foundation, and I think it could sustain itself for the next, if they do it right and they pay their players, and they about 5 to 7 years.
So we're going to go with the Pirates have arrived. It's finally legit. Ownership is finally investing in the future, and this is not just by happenstance.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I'll close out with Rob, because, and correct me if I'm wrong, he's the only one up. You golf, Bryce?
I do not.
Okay, so Rock, you would be, so whatever you say, we got to believe, because none of us know any better. So.
I mean, we all golf, but we don't golf. I mean, we've done
Hit it
it.
around.
Right, yeah.
Miniature golf does not count.
The windmill,
Yeah, windmill.
Happy Gilmore.
So Rock, not only as it relates to Tiger, but just the field in the Masters, what do we have to look forward to? And what is your prediction on a winner?
I see the number one player, Scotty Scheffler, coming out winning the Masters. If not, he's going to be in the top 5. I see the way he's playing, I see him taking it.
Tiger's nemesis,
Phil Mickelson?
Phil Mickelson, he's in.
Yes, he
So,
is.
so how do you feel about, he's been scrutinized because he went with the live people and took all the money and let the.
And not playing well.
And so any chance he can rise up? He rose up, what, 3 years ago?
About 6 years ago.
Came out of nowhere to win it. So you don't see him being a factor. So your final word is you don't see Tiger even being a factor at this point.
I see no one over 45 really competing.
Is it the age, the injuries, combination of all the above? Tiger's just done. Well, nearing the end.
I think this particular course is too hard on his body. And the fact that they had a rain delay, which pushes him to play a lot of holes tomorrow because they didn't complete the day.
You heard it here. Tiger's the greatest of all time.
All time.
Tiger Woods will win the Masters. You heard it right here on Champions Live Sports Talk Show. If Tiger don't win it, Rico, I'll whoop you like you Joe Frazier. We're done, but let me just tell people this. April 27th, anybody out there that wants to be a part of what's going on, it is the Achieving Greatness Incorporated Community Forum Talk Gathering. I gather people together to talk about what's going on locally and nationally. Give us a call at 412-628-4856. Limited seats. It's free and we feed you for free. Saturday, April 27th is coming up. What's going on in the legacy of the great Marvin Gaye? We talk about all the things that Marvin wrote about in 1969. It's still going on today. But even more importantly, coming up, Friday, May 31st, the 50th annual, somebody wake Booker up, he's dozing off. Don't let him slip out of his chair. This is the important stuff, Booker. Friday, May 31st at PNC Park. It is the 50th edition of the Willie Pop Stargell Pittsburgh MVP Awards and the Connie Hawkins Summer Basketball League Hall of Fame inductions. Again, 412-628-4856. If you want to be included in that, what will be a great, great evening of champions and celebrity. It's all coming up. Connie Hawkins Hall of Fame, Willie Stargell MVP. All that said, Jeannie, the young girl, she just keeps going to sleep on me. Tell her this all over now. She ain't gotta suffer no more. She's like, why y'all taking me to this old man's thing? Why I gotta sit through this? I could be watching Chicago Fire or something. So I understand, sweetie. We appreciate you coming. But we're done.
Yes,
Any
we
last
do.
words? Any last words? Anybody got anything to offer? Bryce, thanks for being a
Thank
guest.
you for having me. Thank you.
Mario, anything?
I do have one thing. Getting back to your girl Cece being compared to Cheryl Miller, one thing I have to say is Cheryl Miller was, over 20 years ago, maybe more? The amount of talent and competition now is so much greater than when she was playing that you have to take that into consideration.
So then that would mean that Will Chamberlain is not one of the greatest basketball players of all time based on that theory.
No, he's saying it's based on era, and you can only be the
Just
best
asked him
of
a
your
question.
era.
Warren, I just asked the man a question, that's all. Don't get
Women's basketball has come a long, long, long
Well
way.
done. I didn't mean to for sure.
I got something. Thank you as well. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. It was an honor and a joy to be amongst you guys. Also, wanted to say that big ups to, thank you for mentioning Earl to Pearl. One of the first teams that I actually was able to play professional for was named after the Baltimore Pearls, and that was when I actually got hip and got schooled on how good he was and how he, elevated the game. And
He's one
I
of
even
those-
heard that Michael Jordan took some of his moves. I mean,
Well, he's the first guy that developed the spin move, the reverse
Right.
spin off with the ball
Yeah.
without carrying the ball.
Yeah.
But he
No, he
off,
carried it.
Well, yeah, he still carried it, but not that they called it. But he doesn't get included, nor does Walt Frazier, nor does Wes Unseld. There's so many great players. Who Pete Maravich, without question, who was way ahead of his time. Even the players that played with Maravich said we just couldn't keep up with him. He was just too far ahead of us. So there's basketball, especially, man. There's some all-time greats, and we can't leave without at least saying this. However you feel about it, O.J. Simpson passed yesterday. O.J. Simpson died at age 76.
Juice.
Yes.
So I do want to offer condolences to the family. Now, whether you feel that O.J. did it or didn't do it, if he was still looking for the killer while he was on the golf course, we don't know. But anybody got a particular opinion about it?
I don't have an opinion about what happened that night, particular night, but I didn't watch him. I'm being honest, it exposes my age. I didn't watch him play, but Dad watched him play. He said, I think he's the most underrated running back in the history of the league because of what happened, because what say you?
Well, no, that's partly true in that, obviously, media and NFL was not going to showcase him the same way. But if you dig into ESPN highlights, if you want to have a good hour of enjoying football, you watch O.J. Simpson run. He may be, now I'm a Jim Brown man out the gate, and Gale Sayers, Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, they're right there. Gale Sayers, they're right there. But O.J. Simpson was amazing. And the best way to understand that is to watch his highlights. J.T. Thomas, the former Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback, who it's still beyond me how Mel Blount is considered the greatest cornerback of all time. If he is, then the guy playing opposite him to win 4 Super Bowls should be the second greatest quarterback of all time, but they don't get that credit individually or as a tandem. Nonetheless, J.T. Thomas said to me, when they played Buffalo and O.J. Simpson got the ball in the backfield, he came from the opposite side of the field on an angle. He had the angle, and O.J. still outran him. And he was a world-class sprinter himself. O.J. Simpson was one of, you just have to watch his stuff to only understand how great he was. But did he kill his wife and her lover? We don't know. He wasn't found guilty of it, not criminally. He was found guilty civilly. So everything goes to the grave with O.J.
Did he not have an over 2,000-yard season when it was still only a 12-game season?
In Buffalo.
Yes. In Buffalo.
In the snow.
Exactly.
No, he was a beast on the football field. There's no doubt about it. But that being said, also
263 in the snow.
Yeah, 263 in the snow. But also, while you're looking at stuff, look at your Jim Brown stuff. You want to see a cat that.
I see it all. Trust and believe.
Jim Brown running, and again at a time like Mario's point, Jim Brown was as big as a linebacker, 6'3", 220 at the time. Played when white guys wanted to take him out, literally. His thing was he would not let the opposition see him in pain or discomfort. He got up slow and easy after every play the same way. But if you want to really be treated to something, you watch Jim Brown and I'm a believer of this. Jim Brown, great then, would be great today. All league great then would be great today. I believe greatness exists at every level. That's all we got time for. And the audience is wondering, when are you going to shut up, Neil, so we can go home? Well, that is now. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. Oh, this camera. We'll be back in 2 weeks for Champions Live Sports Talk Show.
Hey, before we cut out, I got a surprise for all you guys, including Bill. So we're going to do a contest. Whoever has the nicest shoes today is going to win that basketball.
All right, well, who wins?
It's got to be Bill.
Yeah, it got me, Bill.
I saw his shoes.
Yeah, Bill.
Neil.
Bill, you
Jordan?
the basketball, yeah?
Well, that's good. That makes it easy to keep bringing the basketball back. If I win. All right, we're out.
All right, guys, thanks for coming.